Hey Vegeta, I'm haunting you. Bad pun, but hey, I can't help thinking about that tweet I saw. What's going on, people? This is Crimson 60620, and I am here reviewing Jessica Jones Season 2. Now, what I want to actually talk about is I'm going to talk about the central characters, and it's going to require me to talk about what happened to them and how things played out. There will be spoilers, but hey, you can always come back and watch this review. Let's get started. And so, Jessica Jones is one of the defenders where it's actually a pretty good show standalone. Now, this show, this season, let's give an overview of the basics. For one, let's talk about the characters. We're going to get into the characters. We're going to talk about what happened. We're going to talk about the consequences of the season, and we're going to go over special Easter eggs. So, let's talk about the characters. We have Jessica. No, sorry, I had to go back there. We have Trish or Patsy, depending on who's writing her, who's reacting with her. We have Malcolm. We have Hogarth. We actually have a new villain, and we have. Is that about it? I guess we're gonna actually say we have the rest of the ensemble. And so, let's talk about Jessica. Jessica has not, it kind of starts off with her still being angry and still being lonely and still kind of actually being in the same place she was at the start of season 1. Now, it doesn't seem to be much growth from that, but I don't know. It didn't take away from it. Patsy or Trish, on the other hand, she's a person in trouble. She's always been an addict. And I'm not saying that is a purely bad thing, but she's doing crackhead tendencies. Now, what's her crack? It varies as the season goes on. But she is doing crackhead tendencies. Malcolm, he's doing crackhead tendencies too. A little bit less, in some cases a little bit more destructive. But he's facing those crackhead tendencies as well. Hogarth? Well, Hogarth is not the same person that we saw. Truthfully, she's not the same person that we saw in season 1 of Jessica Jones. And of course, you have, the main villain. And we're going to actually get into it. So I watched the season in actually 2 sets. I watched some the Friday they came out, and I watched some Saturday. Now, here's the thing. Is it better than season 1? In some cases, yes. In some cases, no. Is it compelling? Actually, yes, because I binge watched it. I only stopped because I didn't have enough focus to watch the rest of it without taking care of life. Will I watch it again? Actually, of course, I'll watch it again. I'm actually waiting for Marvel to come out, putting all these seasons together in a way where it actually fits. And so we pick up with, setting wise, it's where season 1 ended. Jessica getting those clients, her being an asshole and actually saying no to most of them. Malcolm is actually doing a lot more work, and he's actually been helping fix stuff from the last time. It was a fun little episode in her room, in Alias. So Trish is being a crackhead about trying to find out about IGH. And she's being a crackhead about it. She's being a crackhead about that thrill. And, you know, who can blame her? She's around Jessica, who's a real powered individual. And somebody like that, it can make you feel a little bit inadequate. Especially when, you know, you saw it a little bit in season 1 where Jessica wasn't living up to her hero potential. Now, Trish is ironically jealous, and it's the same thing about Jessica's actually jealous of Trish. Now, this season is about families, and Jessica meets her new super, a guy with the son, and ironically he's battling a cussing battle with his ex-wife over the son. And you know, he kind of wants to, he's just trying to go about his day. And that's another thing, a lot of these people are just trying to go about their day. You found out that Hawthorne has Lou Gehrig's disease, ALH, I believe that's what it's called, but she's dealing with it, and she's not really dealing with it, she's being diagnosed with it. Now, the thing about it is, because of this push that Trish is doing, this crackhead push that she's doing for the thrills of trying to get somebody in, she's pushing, and that led to people dying that people are trying to silence. That leads to her getting in a relationship with somebody who is one of those war correspondents. She is going for that thrill, and in the middle, the people come after her. The person comes after her, and she runs into Samson, and Samson is subsequently killed not before he drops his magic medicine, which Trish so happens to take. And of course she does crackhead shit because it's about the thrills. Jessica is slowly trying to find out who is hurting everybody, who's killing these people around her. And it comes to find out, she runs into who says is a doctor, and can tell her about what happened in the hospital. Turns out this woman has the same and more strength than Jessica, and that starts to down a rabbit hole. Now, the woman ends up being, spoiler alert, Jessica's mother. And with that being Jessica's mother, it retcons what happens in the crash. Effectively, she was so disfigured that, you know, they had to reconstruct her face, and they healed her over time, and everything Jessica Powers can do, she can do equivalent to, I want to say, and this is not a hard number, but times 3. You know, they have healing factor. Who in Marvel doesn't have a healing factor? They have super strength, and she can jump just like Jessica. Now, here's the thing. The great thing about this is Marvel always does this. Marvel presents a hero and presents a villain. And in the movies, things of that nature, it's when they do it right, Killmonger. When they do it wrong, Ironmonger. They always do this. They say this is a hero, this is a dark turn of the hero. Not necessarily evil, just the ends justify the means. Now, what also happens in this, you get a backdrop, a backstory of everything that went on and where you get the Alias name from. You get Trish doing early crackhead shit, and you get Jessica, you know, doing what every teenager would do with super strength. And that's kind of a callback to, if I had super strength and nobody can stop me, what would I do? And I know a lot of you out there would actually say, well, I would do the right thing. No, you wouldn't at first. No, you wouldn't at first. You would show off. You would try to get meaty little things to not get in trouble, but you would use that might makes right thing. Anyway it goes, you find out that, you know, it's Jessica's mother, and you find out why Jessica's mother has actually stayed away. News alert, because she has a temper and she can't control her strength. I wonder where I saw that movie before. Fourth season. Anyway, so they get locked in a confined space, and you actually see how they relate to each other, and you actually see, and this is a great thing about the relationships, you get a relationship of what's going on with how a kid remembers and lionizes their dead family members and how it really was. And you know, maybe because she believed her whole family died, that things were better than what they were. But a lot of you guys can probably get that, you know, she looks back with a lot more rosier glasses. So it comes down to it where, you know, Jessica is trying to hide her mother to a point where it blows up in her face, because she just realized her mother's just uncontrollable, and with all the psychological damage that has gone on and the trigger of the powers, she needs to be in a safe place. And this is the second of probably about 3 Easter eggs. Well, I will say this is the third one. So let's just take a side right here and talk about some of the Easter eggs. One, the little kid that she sleeps with the super. She sleeps with her super of her building. And at first it's a relationship where they're, you know, butting heads, but the guy understands. And the little kid says, well, I have Captain America, but he lost his shield, a reference to Civil War. Another one is the raft. They say that we're gonna take Jessica's mother to the raft because she's just too dangerous. But a surprising Easter egg that they actually put. They say the reason why some people get powers and some people don't is because their DNA. In other words, they didn't throw mutants in there. That's the great thing about it. They didn't throw mutants in there. But what they can introduce is mutants later, because they say some DNA allows the explosion of powers. Marvel's Jessica Jones on Netflix has just opened up the Celestials. And why did I say that? Well, just a little bit of comic history. The Celestials actually made it where the early humans would do the Deviants, they would do the Eternals, and then further down the line, they would actually create mutants. That's why we have Thanos. Thanos is a deviant Eternal. Mutants, of course, and they can't use them just yet when they were making the series, but the reason why Captain America got his power, because he had the DNA built in to actually express powers along with the super soldier formula. Now, it all goes to shit. Guard in prison is actually terrorizing Jessica's mother because, and I forget her name, it's really not important. She's just Jessica's mother. And it's not a display to the character at all, but just think Jessica amped up and crazier. But Jessica accidentally kills a man because he's actually a serial killer. He's killing different inmates or forcing them to commit suicide. And she accidentally kills him. She's tired, she's exhausted, and she has a mental break. And she gets her ghost napper, which is Kilgrave, which she immediately knows is a manifestation of her being upset, her not having any sleep. And he even says, you know what I am. He just knows that he's a manifestation of her own mind. And it's never in a sense of torture. It's just that part of her personality coming out and reflecting her what she feels on the inside. Now, of course, some other things go wrong. Patsy, we call her Patsy right now because she was doing some serious crackhead shit. She takes Sansom and Helen and becomes addicted to it. Malcolm's trying to learn how to be a PI and Jessica's pushing him away. That's not news, but it's to the point where he's actually taking up some of the cases. It all boils to the head where Patsy, while Jessica's mother's in prison, Patsy kidnaps a doctor to try to get her own superpowers. Yeah, good luck. So, what we find out is that Patsy almost dies. She does some definite crackhead shit. And Jessica is forced to actually protect Patsy from her mother. And in the end, Jessica takes her mother and they run away. And her mother is coming to the realization that she just can't be controlled. And they're trying to get away. And, you know, in the end, she's trying to tell Jessica, go back. You have a life and I'm just some monster. I can't control myself. And Patsy shoots her in the head. Yeah. Patsy shoots Jessica's mother in the head. Now, mind you, she has a point because, well, Jessica's mother can't be reasoned with. She gets in her fits and she would have killed a lot of people. But it wasn't Patsy's call. Mostly. The thing about it is Jessica's mother was realizing that it wasn't the case. They just couldn't be. She realized that in the end Jessica was gonna get killed. And everybody was telling Jessica, you gotta put your mama down. And it was kind of a thing with Kilgrave where everybody was saying, kill that bastard, where it was her mother. And a lot of people said that's like, it's hard for her to break away from her mother. And so the end of the season, Malcolm is working for a rival of Jessica. Oh, fun news, Hawthorne is a bitch, and a good one. The type of lore that you want. So, a subplot, like I said before, she had ALS. And I think I said it right this time. And so, she thought that she had found Jessica was protecting somebody from the killing. And she thought that the person she was protecting was actually going to knew a healer. It turned out to be a big scam. And she didn't call the cops. Instead, she called my man Turk. And Turk has been in every one of these. Oh my God, I don't think it's been one he hasn't been in. Was he in? I know he was in Luke Cage. I know he was in The Defenders. I even think he was in Iron Fist. I don't know if he was in season 1 of Jessica Jones, but it's Turk, baby. And she set the girl up after they robbed her and scammed her. She set the girl up, and in classic Jerry way, she says, "Oh, he stole from me. How long is it going to be till he steals from you?" I want you to take this gun as protective. She amped her up and sent her into the house. She waited outside, and when she heard the shots fired, she called the police. That is lawyer type shit. The subplot with Malcolm, again, it was one of those things where Malcolm is Malcolm. He's not a weak character. And the funny part about it is he was beneficial with finding a lot of the secrets. And I would say he's, in this season, more than last season, he was used as a, I wouldn't say get out of jail free for the writers, but hey, I found this thing. Take a look at this. Come see this. And he did have a little bit of a character arc, but he was just, we need to have somebody that's smart enough to figure stuff out, but not be too intrusive. I mean, he played his part well, and he resolved one of the minor conflicts. But there we go. We talked about season 2 of Jessica Jones. Will I watch it again? Yeah, of course. I'm gonna watch it again. I really wish Netflix will come out with a major list of how these seasons and series actually fit together. Timeline playlists. I know, because I went back and watched all of them, they should have a playlist and make sure that this is a lot more coherent. But this is one that you're going to sit back and watch again. I want to thank you guys for watching. Remember, make 100 subs and enjoy the rest of your day.